Hey everyone, today I'm going to go over the quiz review for our matrices quiz. So a reminder for order is always rows by columns. So we first do the rows numbers and then we put this X and then do the columns. So rows go this direction. So there are 2 rows by the columns go this direction and there are 3 columns. So you've got a 2 by 3. For an element, the first number is telling you the row, the second number is telling you the column. So for the second row, first column, I'd go second row, first column, and that gives me -5. This one we've got first row, second column. So if I go first row, second column, I've got a 3. For performing operations, you have options. If you want to type these into the calculator, you can, or you can just do them by hand. So I'm going to just do this one by hand. So I see we've got a minus sign in the middle. So I'm going to do 5 minus -1. So a reminder, when you do minus a negative, it turns into a plus. So it's going to give me a 6. 1 minus 1 is 0. 4 minus -1, remember minus -1 turns into that plus, so we get a 5. And 5 minus 3 is 2. Next one, when you have a number on the outside, you're multiplying. So you are multiplying everything inside of it by that scalar of 5. So you can do it in the calculator or you can just do it in your head. So 5 times -5, 5 times -4, 5 times -3, 5 times 3, 5 times -5, and 5 times -2. Finally, we've got 3 matrices. We're adding and then subtracting. So up to you if you want to do it all at once or if you want to do it step by step. I'm going to just do it step by step. So I'm going to add these first. So when I add those, I get -1 and 0. And this matrix stays the same, so I'm just going to rewrite it. So if I subtract that, -1 minus -5, -1 minus -5, that turns into plus. So that gives me a 4. 0 minus -6, again, that turns into a plus, so we get a +6. So be careful with those minuses. All right, on this section of the quiz, where they give you an A, B, and a C, when you are adding or subtracting, like this one, or this one, or this one, you could do those by hand, or because you're going to have to type them into the calculator for the multiplying, you could just do all of it in the calculator. So a reminder about how to type things into the calculator. So the first thing we do is we hit second matrix. Then in order to enter in a matrix, you go over to edit, click enter on the one you want to enter. Matrix A was a 2 by 2, so I'm going to hit 2, enter, 2, enter. And then I'm going to type in all of its numbers, hitting enter after every number. So now I've got matrix A entered in. Now I need matrix B. So I'm going to go second matrix, go over to edit, go down to matrix B. Matrix B is a 2 by 3. So -2, 3, 6, -5, 6, 0. Oh, looks like I got off. Not -30. Okay, -2, 3, 6. There we go. -5, 6, 0. Okay, really be careful. On this quiz last year, the biggest mistakes I remember are students typed it in wrong. So just make sure you check your numbers. Don't miss a negative because then it'll throw off all of your answers. So then we'll go back to second matrix, go to edit and put in C. So C is a 2 by 2. So we've got -5, 1, 4, 0. Okay, so now after you've entered in all of your matrices, you're going to go second quit to go back to a normal calculator screen. So the first question on the review is A minus C. So I'm going to go second matrix. Under names, I'm going to select A and then do minus second matrix. Go down to C. Perfect. So then back on our review, that answer that we just got, if only it would write, oh, it's on eraser mode, 7, 1, -5, -6. Now we've got 2C plus 4A. One thing to check is do the dimensions match? Because if they don't match, we don't even have to add them because they won't be possible. but A and C do have the same dimensions, so they're good to be added. So we've got 2, and then I go select matrix C, plus 4, and then I select matrix A. So that is our answer on that one. So -2, 10, 4, -24. The next one, B minus A. Notice B and A do not have the same order, so we don't even need to type that in. That one is just not possible. If you do type it in, it'll say error. So error should tell you, you should check the dimensions to make sure you didn't type it in wrong. And as long as like the dimensions don't match, not possible for adding and subtracting. For multiplying, what we have to check is the orders again. But the thing with orders, so A is a 2 by 2, B is a 2 by 3. If these inside numbers match, that means it's possible. So that one's a good to go. Let's just check all of them before we type them in. So this one's B times C, so that's a 2 by 3, and then a 2 by 2. Ooh, these ones do not match. So if they do not match, this one is not possible. So I don't even have to type that one in. And C times A, C is a 2 by 2, A is a 2 by 2. So those match, so that one is possible. So we need to type those two in. So we're going to type in A times B. So second matrix A times second matrix B. So there's our B times A. So -14, 18, 12, 32, -39, -6. And then we don't have to do 9 because it is not possible. So we're going to jump to 10. So 10 is C times A. So second matrix C times second matrix A. So there's our answer for that one. So we got -11, -16, 8, and 8. All right, finally, we learned how to solve systems of equations using the augmented matrix. So on the quiz, I do want you to write the augmented matrix, and it'll say that on the quiz. It'll say write the augmented matrix, then solve. So the augmented matrix, remember, is you're drawing a matrix using the x, the y, the z, and the numbers. So on this one, the first equation is missing the x, so we've got a 0 for the x, a 2 for the y, a -4, so there's a minus sign, make sure you make it negative, 28, 4, 4, -6, 24, 5, 6, 6, -18. All right, once you've got that, we're going to type it into our calculator. So I'm going to go second matrix, go over to edit, and then you can pick wherever you want to put it. So I'm going to type it on top of matrix A. I know it's frustrating that you can't really clear the matrices, you just can kind of type on top of them unless you want to reset your calculator. So this matrix was a 3 by 4. So we had 0, 2, -4, 28, 4, 4, -6, 24, and 5, 6, 6, oh, 6, -18. So really, like typing in a calculator, be careful, like check what you've typed in after you type it in, because if you type one number wrong, like I have students that'll get like decimals on this problem, and they'll be like, oh, what happened? And it's because they missed like a negative. So it really matters. So make sure you really check the numbers that you wrote down. All right, then we got to go second quit to go back to a calculator. So the way we solve using this augmented matrix, we hit second matrix, go to math, and then scroll until you see RREF. So it needs 2 R's. Then inside that, we're going to put our augmented matrix, which I stored in A. Then we hit enter, and there we go. So as long as you see those ones across the diagonal, those zeros, the final column, that is your answers. So for my answer matrix, if you want to just write the solution, you can. So there'll be a line on the quiz that says solution, and that solution is coming from those numbers in the far right column. So here we've got -6, 6, -4. So not that. Oh my gosh. Here we are. Okay. So what you've got is our solution is -6, 6, and -4. Because -6 was in the x spot, 6 was in the y spot, and -4 was in the z spot. So if we graphed these three lines, that is like the point that in this 3D graph where these three lines would cross. All right, let's do another one. We've got our x, y, z, and number. So remember, if there's not a number in front of it, make sure you put a 1. Last year I had a lot of kids put 0, but it's a 1. And if there's a minus sign, make sure you remember the negative. Okay, so we have our matrix. So now we're going to go type it into the calculator. So I'm going to go second matrix, over to edit. I'm just going to keep putting it in for A, but you're welcome to put it wherever you want. It's still a 3 by 4. So this one is 1, 2, -4, 10, 5, -1, -6, 25, -1, 6, 1, 1. Okay, I'm just checking my work, making sure I typed it in right. Looks like I did. So we can go second quit. We need that RREF again. So second matrix math, scroll to RREF. Then second matrix, select wherever you stored it, and then hit enter. So our solution is the right-hand column. So x is 4, y is 1, z is -1. So on the quiz, there'll be a line that says solution. So I'm looking for 4, 1, -1. If for the solution, you wrote the entire augmented matrix, so if you wrote 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 4, 1, -1, I will still give you credit for that. So both of these are good answers. All right, that is what the quiz is going to look like. So you have now seen everything on it. So hopefully you practiced your calculator skills, and I wish you luck.